There are many words that can describe Hava. Small, quaint, salty. But today of all days, the one word that springs to mind of all that inhabit it is joyful. Located on the western coast of the Collective, overlooking the Sidonis Sea, the town's Plain Crab Festival appears to be in full swing. The smell of fried food, ever-flowing mead, and the sounds of a calliope float out of the local tavern, The Familiar. People have traveled from all over the world, and even from other planes, to participate in the festival and hopefully get a chance to see the beauty of its coast and dip their toes in the protective waters of Baleen Bay. In all ways, it is a beautiful, quaint town. For now. All right, guys, I would like us each to do rollies to determine who we are going to be going to first.
Ooh, rollies. That's fun.
The rollies.
5.
19. Curse me. I shouldn't have talked shit earlier.
This is going to be the culmination of what this campaign is going to be
15
for me.
Fucking hell. You called it, and it happened.
Hey,
on you.
we put our numbers together. You do have a dirty 20.
I'm not going to lie. Honestly, that works out pretty well. Tiffany, what do you guys get?
5.
15 for me. 5 and 15.
So it looks like the first person that we're going to be going to is Vox. We're going to be starting off at the edge of town. In particular, you are going to be waking up in your bed like you always do to the sound of creaking wrought iron off in the distance of the entrance to the scrapyard that you call your home. In your lookout tower, you can see possibility, potential. Every single piece of junk that stretches off into the horizon is a potential new creation, a new friend, a new way of making money, and potentially a new way of getting what you most desire. Around you, there are a number of your creations. But to your right, there is one in particular that is the first you see when you wake up. If you could, I would like you to describe yourself and then to describe that object.
Harlan Boggs Umbra is a furbolg on the shorter side, maybe only 5'10". Probably slept in the same clothes that they worked in the night before, and the days before. The coat was probably just a patched up, dirty white tee, kind of ripped clothes and jeans, and they have their duster off to the side thrown onto a chair. Around them is scrap and various little trinkets and little things kind of welded together. An old collection of coffee cups off to one side that has kind of been there. They have a gray pigmented skin, a bowl septum piercing, and studs along their ears that's hidden under a kind of rolling black curly hair that's kind of extra messy now as they just woke up. Kind of a golden hue to their eyes, and their trinket, this little thing, their favorite, is a tiny mechanical little crab, or kind of like spiderling little mechanical creation that just kind of, and I know as Vox knows, as soon as they look away, it's gonna skitter over. And then they have some of their other more useful junk that they're looking to scrap or perhaps make something into later.
All right, excellent. As you look around, one of the first things that you notice by the door, a device that you made that is a facsimile of the alarm spell, seems to have gone off during the time that you were asleep. This one in particular alerts you to when the mail has arrived.
Oh, all right. Vox will hop out of bed, go over, dig around for probably a little longer than they should have, getting actually dressed in clean, nicer clothes to be a little more presentable if they're going into town. Pulling something up that's covered in oil or grease and just tossing it aside, and then pulling over an equally dirty shirt under that, and then finally finding the clean stuff underneath the rest of it, getting themselves put together a little more, going over, resetting the spell, and then it's gonna take a second to kind of look over the surroundings, make sure not missing anything, not forgetting anything, and then they're gonna head out to collect their mail.
All right. As you head out from your lookout tower, off in the distance, you can see the originator of the sound of creaking wrought iron that you hear every single day, about 8 to 10 foot tall warforged is sitting near the entrance to the scrapyard, rocking it what appears to be this gigantic welded monstrosity of a rocking chair, back and forth ever methodically, as they look off into the scrapyard that they own. This is your dear friend and mentor, Serve.
So if you work all night again, you can just send someone to come wake us up. You don't gotta be making noise for the entirety of the town to hear.
I ain't do much working. The noise is just a very beneficial byproduct.
Beneficial, he says. Yeah, all right. You got mail for me?
There were a couple pieces.
And he reaches out with like a gigantic arm, and there are 3 envelopes. One of them appears to be from Natalie. One appears to be a piece of like a small package that seems to be covered in like dust or soot, that has 4 names scrawled on it. And the third one appears to be from the collective.
All right, give them here before you break them, and I'll take them, collect them over, put them over.
All right.
Just kind of put them down next to me, and before looking over, I just want to can I make a perception check to make sure that things are in order and Serve is actually doing his job, because I don't trust him not to actually just sit around.
You know what? I don't think this is perception. I think that this would be an insight check, if anything.
Okay. Insight I can do. 13.
13. Okay, excellent. Everything seems to be relatively in order from the way that like you sort of saw everything while you fell asleep. Serve seems to be doing his job to the best of his ability, but also you're used to Serve, and you know that the best of his ability when it comes to doing this job is to make sure that no one just doesn't take anything super expensive. There are 1 or 2 small pieces missing, but not something that anyone is going to necessarily miss, probably from people that are looking to build something similar to you. Also with a 13, something that I think you would notice with Serve is that his neck seems to be twitching just ever so slightly. Not necessarily a point of his emotional state, but it could be something that is wrong with his anatomy.
So why don't I take graveyard shift tonight, and you take it easy. I can close this up here. You should maybe just take a minute to yourself, all right? Yeah, you work too hard.
It's hardly working when you enjoy what you do. But I'm mighty grateful for that.
You don't enjoy what you do, though, sir. We've been over this, but we'll talk about this later, all right? I'm going to put these away. I'm going to see what all this is. And I'll go into the letters afterwards, and I'll leave him for a moment.
Okay, absolutely. Which letter do you want to look at first?
I'll look at the letter for Natalie first.
All right, so you open it up. It appears to be from one of the individuals in town. This is from Natalie DeVries, who is in charge of the Blooming Flask, which is a potion shop that you just helped out. So it says, Vox just wanted to say thank you for your help. The new mixer works perfectly. The healing potions apparently have 30% less pulp now, which is surprisingly effective in selling them. I have this ticket that I was not planning on using. If you would like it, please consider it a thank you. And if you need any potions, know that you have a permanent discount now at the shop, Nat. And the ticket appears to be a ticket to the local celebration that is happening today, which is the Plain Crab Festival near the shore across town.
Okay. I'll pocket the ticket, and I'll pocket the letter in a different bag and a different satchel, and then I'll move on to the next stuff.
All right. What do you want next?
Let's look at these box. I feel like I'm going to do the collective stuff for last.
Okay. You open up the box. You know what this is immediately because you get one of these packages, I'd say maybe like once a month. At most, they are from your friends Witch, Hitch, Mitch, and Franklin. It is literally just a bunch of
boys.
loose gunpowder in a box.
I'm gonna very carefully put that down. I'm gonna take out a handful of bottles and put those next to it to like organize that later, and I'll look at the collective letter.
Okay. You know what this letter is because you have received this letter at least once a week for the past 10 years. Thank you, Vox Umbra, for your interest in the Oriri Collective. Unfortunately, we are very hard at work creating the premier technology of the realm, and as such, we are unable to process your request for consultation with Arcanus Ortis. However, we would still like to offer you this compound for one free meal at your local collective-sponsored food repository. We hope that this offer is enough that you will have continued faith in the collective so that we can continue to rise together.
Okay. I think reading it already walks over to the opposite side of Surveyor Vitor, where Vox's regular person-sized rocking chair is, and small bit of matches and smoke stuff, which is never really used, goes over, lights a match, lights it on fire, and throws it with the ash of the other letters.
Making quite a pile there, son.
Well, they keep sending them, so I'm going to keep burning them. Not much more I can do on that front. Now, I'm burning daylight, so I'm going to deal with this here package before it becomes a problem, and then I'm going to head off into town probably, unless you need me for something.
I don't need you for anything right now. I do think...
Hang on one sec.
I think Mr. Augusta wants some help over at his place a little bit later, but that can be held until after the festival. Knowing him, he's going to kick your ass in cards. You're going to be there all night anyway.
Yeah, I was heading there after anyway, so I'll stop by and see. It's probably that same creaky board he's got stuck on his porch. Anyway. Well, you take it easy, Serv. And maybe get someone to look at the neck. Looks like you got a busted joint or something up there.
It won't bother me much, but I'll look at it. I'll go into town later and get some parts for it.
Alright, sounds good. You take care now.
Alright, you too.
All right. So, as you go off to handle this box of explosives, you actually just make me one quick dexterity check to make sure that you don't blow yourself up.
Ooh.
Ooh, already.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's good knowing.
You know what?
it
I'll
was
say
good
this
knowing
would count as
Vox
like a
for
Tinker's
the
Tools check, I think,
couple
if anything.
minutes.
So you can do so with advantage.
It was a 16, but I will roll again.
Okay.
Oh, natural 20.
Natural 20. Excellent. Awesome. Okay. In that all right. In that
I've been
case,
blown up a few times.
Used to it.
roll me a d4 and then cut it in half.
2.
All right. You have successfully made one gunpowder bomb, if you so wish.
Sorry, I rolled a 4, so 2 gunpowder bombs.
Oh, yeah. You rolled 2. Yeah, you got 2 gunpowder bombs. Damn.
Cool.
All right, awesome. Okay. All right, moving on from there, we have Luce.
Hi.
All right. All right, Luce, you are woken up in the center of Hava by your mother, Mia, knocking on your door. From an open window, you can smell fried food, candy. You can hear the sound of a number of people, and for just like half a second, you could also smell what appears to be like low tide. If you could, I would like you to describe. I'd like you to describe yourself, Luce, and I would also like you to describe your room.
Okay. Luce is a pretty tall furball, to the point where he barely fits in his bed. But can't help it is what they could afford at the time, and he said anything about it. Meaning he is tall, meaning that he is 6'4" for furball, which is kind of short, but still pretty tall for other people. He is fairly skinny. He's about 130 pounds. His fur is this light blue that goes into very dark blues at the tip of his fingers. For his hair is completely black like obsidian, but the tips of it does leak down a little bit into blue. His eyes are big doe like brown. He is also only half Furbolg, so he has a bit of a human-like face, but his ears are very floppy, like a goat, very soft. And currently he has the massive bed head, all the static just kind of puffed out. He reaches over and he grabs his staff and he goes, "Mom, did you have to knock so loud?"
Well, it's the only way that I can wake you up, Short Stack. So, if you don't mind, there's a couple people that I need you to see today. Afterwards, I got you a ticket to the festival. If you have time, I'm gonna be off to see Carp. I'll tell him you say hi. She opens the door and she seems to be like in a massive hurry. Like she's like her hair is still like messy from the day. She seems like she has like quite a bit to do. There's already like a gigantic battle axe strapped to her back, and she says, if you have time, I'd love it if you can go see Miss Molt down the street. And after that, just the day is yours. But knowing you're gonna be fine, right? You're gonna be good.
Well, I'll just need to find my jandals. Have you seen my jandals? And he like reaches over and what would be his sandals. He's like looking for them.
Okay.
I don't really understand. He's like half asleep still.
All right.
Like one eye closed, one eye open.
Okay. Let's do a. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Let's do a perception contest.
Nah, man, I just woke up.
Both at disadvantage because Luce is half asleep and Liv is half has a foot out the door.
Okay.
Okay.
With disadvantage, right?
Yep.
I was like, I can't get worse than a 3. And I did. I got a 2. So
Okay. Yeah, she got a nat 20 and an 8. So she just sort of like looks over, is just like literally just going like fuck, and is able to find them very, very quickly. It just sort of like tosses them to you, gives you a kiss on your forehead, and says, "I'm gonna see you later, okay? Have fun at the festival. There's money on the counter, okay?
all right. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Love you, Short Stack. Bye." As she just immediately books it out the room.
All right. And then he'll stand up and like kind of stumble, and he finds his staff and he put on his jandals. And did she like leave the fucking like house a mess, like more than normal?
Probably. There are like a couple of it looks like she tried to make breakfast, kind of failed. Like the kitchen smells like a little bit of like burnt eggs. There's like a pair of pants that like that she didn't wear yesterday that's just like in the middle of the living room.
He's going to clean the house while also getting dressed, and then he's going to eat the food, but the food isn't good. And then he's going to make lunch also. He's going to cook and leave it for her.
Okay.
And then he's going to start to make his way out and see what the day has for him.
All right. Your mother asked you to go over to the Molt residence.
Yes.
Someone in that home, affectionately known as Auntie Molt by the townsfolk, is like a very, very old Yuan-Ti woman that you've been helping with her arthritis.
And is Carp's place on the way?
Carp's place is at the edge of town near the ocean.
Okay. Don't want to go there. So he's going to go to Old Lady Molt.
All right. On your way there, you can either make me a perception check or a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, shit. Which one is better? I will do a wisdom saving throw. Fucking hell.
Okay.
Even with that, I'm just going to not use these dice no more. I got a 15, which is
15,
still pretty
okay.
good.
I think that's good enough. All right. So As you are walking, quite literally, like just like a couple of streets over, the sound that you heard from like your bedroom window appears to be like noticeably absent as you're walking to where you are. Normally, like the winds from the sea, which are one of the only aspects of like living in an ocean town that gives you any sort of comfort, are also noticeably absent. There are no sounds of people, bugs, insects, animals, anything. As you walk that way, first off, you are not frightened or anything else. But you notice this until finally, like, you get to the building, and it's just like it seems perfectly fine, other than like the lack of noise, but you don't entirely know what's causing it. The door is noticeably open.
Okay. He'll just slowly open the door and he goes, pardon the intrusion. I'm here for old lady Malt. Hello? And he just kind of knocking on the door as he's opening it.
You can hear someone coming down the stairs. It sounds heavier than Auntie Malt. She is like a very like small, frail woman, and this is the sound of someone that is much more concrete, dense. As he gets to the bottom of the floor, you see a very attractive, maybe even like elven looking man, incredibly pale, bright blonde hair, and wearing like this overcoat that almost seems to give the impression as if it was dyed to look like twilight.
Luce will kind of like stare and pause and then go, and just kind of he doesn't even say anything. He just gives a look of like, what the fuck? Without saying it.
Yeah. I am so sorry. I did not know she was expecting company today. I'll come back later. And he passes by you, and as he does, you feel like someone splashed ice water all over you. And the moment that he crosses the threshold of this space, the sound returns. The celebrations, the joy. It is no longer silent.
Is he moving too fast for like Luce to like react at all?
You can react if you'd like, yeah.
You know what? No, he just kind of is shocked by the whole thing. He's just like, and watches the guy leave.
If it helps at all, I can describe him a bit further as well. His face, like his overall features, are sharp and angular, not in the way of like a model, but maybe in the way of like a streamlined animal. Of like, this is an animal made for speed or power. Like, this is an individual that you could describe as like predatory in appearance.
At that point, he has completely backed off.
Okay.
Like, he has made his way further into the door, away from where this guy was walking. Mm-hmm. And he is like kind of like anyone who's ever seen like Scooby-Doo, when Shaggy and Scooby gets really scared, he's like visibly shaking. But he's going to slowly make his way up the stairs, and the slow turns into like a sprint.
As you get up to the top of the stairs, you swing the door open that you know is to Auntie Malt's home, and she starts up awake. She looks at you very confused. This like frail old woman, her hair is already in a bun. She's still in her pajamas, but she still like looks very well kept together, and she looks at you and goes, Lutheran, is everything okay?
Yeah. It's yes. Yeah. Yep. It's. I was told to come by and check on you. So that is what I'm doing.
Oh yeah, that is so sweet of you. Yes, my arthritis is acting up a bit. I was hoping that you could take a look at my elbows.
Yes. And he's going to kneel down, and he's like sweating a bit. And he's going to take a deep breath, and then he's going to check her out.
All right. Can you make me a medicine check?
Wow.
Natural 20. That's what you got.
If it's a nat
like the
1, I'm
sound of
gonna say
that.
that you just pronounce her as dead.
It is a net. What?
Oh my god. Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Oh,
Miss,
right,
you've been
this is
dead since
bad.
I entered this
my
room.
God, she's
Oh my
dead.
god.
Okay, she's not dead. But like you look at her and after like a minute or so of you like sort of checking her out, trying to use healing magic on her the way that you do, she looks at you and goes, "Sweetie, I said my elbows, not my knees."
Right. I'm sorry. I don't. It's. I need. Just give me. Just here. He's just gonna hand her his staff, and he's gonna go down the stairs, open the door, and just.
Okay. Okay, I think this is going to be you can do either wisdom or constitution, but this is going to be a saving throw.
I would do Constitution because I'm ass at that.
All right, cool.
Fuck, and then I rolled well for this. What is happening? I got a 19.
19. Yeah, you breathe in like the ocean air, and you can feel Zephyr, the god of wind, just sort of like you feel the support of something that is like beyond yourself, and then in that moment you just sort of like you feel a little bit better. You feel like you can go back up, and you feel like you're going to be able to handle whatever this is.
All right. Okay. You got this. You're fine. You're present. This is. Come on. And he's gonna turn and go back upstairs. And when he gets back into the room, he goes, "What? Let's fix your elbows." And he's gonna try again.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna say you can do another medicine check.
All right, that one is a 21.
All right, 21. Yeah, you're able to sort of like use your training when it comes to sort of like healing, working as a little bit of a town doctor, and you're sort of able to determine like, oh, this like moving in this certain way is causing like resistance, instead of like, oh, you determining what actually is like causing the actual pain. You're able to provide a little bit of healing magic. We can say that would be like, let's not even call it a spell slot. I think you're just sort of able to do this. You're able to make her feel just a little bit better. You know that it's going to last a couple days, and then if you reapply the same sort of spell work that you did in another few days, she should be fine.
So this is very simple. And I understand, Ultimate, that you like to gamble, but maybe not do that for the next week or two.
But you know how I love my cards.
I get that, but you can't continuously do that. You know, you slam them on the table, you get too rowdy, you almost got into a fight last time. Just how about we not do that this time?
You know, Augusta still owes me 20 gold. First, I can't even visit the horses, and now I'm not going to be able to go to my card night?
Timo, just how about this? I'll come by, and we can play, and you can play not aggressively.
You'll come by tonight?
I will try.
Make a persuasion check
Oh no, Timo about to go and gamble.
to cure this woman's gambling addiction.
Roll for gambling.
In my head, all I heard is see her just slapping a card on the table. 21.
I'm rolling insight. That's what you're going to be going up against.
I got 12.
She got a 13. So
God
she says,
damn it.
Roll for
She
cold
says,
turkey.
well, if you're going to be coming by tonight, then perhaps if we can play for gold.
Let's start at silver, and then Maybe.
All right, punk, you have yourself a deal.
He will make like a frowny face at that. Like, I think his competitive side that he gets from his mom like kicked in.
Yeah.
And he will wrap her up and lay her back down a bit and goes, "No, I'm going to go to the festival. Stay in bed."
I will, absolutely. I hope you have a good time. I heard that they're going to be playing a play that I haven't seen since I was a little girl, and I hope you enjoy it.
I haven't seen the play in a while, so maybe. Let's just hope I will enjoy that. I'm going to go and visit Carp again, so see if I can drag him along, maybe.
Of course, sweetie.
All right. Goodbye, and I will see you tonight for 2 gold to start. He's kind of like stare.
You drive a hard bargain, but very well.
And then he will leave.
All right.
Oh no, there's a lady in
As
condiments taking his money.
What was her name again?
Auntie Molt, Molt. Luce, as you leave this building, as you cross the threshold, you feel the very slightest pinpricks of cold fear race across your spine. You don't know what it means, but you know that you definitely should come back here tonight.
He's going to note that, and instead of walking gently or not quite slowly to Carp, he's going to mom walk, like.
Okay. Now, where Carp lives is very, very close to the ocean. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Ooh, boy.
And just so
Woosah,
you know, you are afraid of the ocean.
I am very much so aware of it. I rolled super fucking well, though. 25.
25. Okay, damn. All right. Yeah, you traveling to the ocean, you kind of just realize this is going to be a moment where I am going to be able to, like, your fear is less important than making sure that someone who's you're very close to has a good time.
Yes.
And although the smell of the ocean, just like being this close to the sea, does freak you out quite a bit, you're able to get to Carp's house, which is a little bit different from the one that you knew he had as a kid, which was like this like beautiful vast wizard tower. It is quite literally just like a small shack down by the sea.
He's going to doing his breathing exercises the whole way.
Okay.
Okay. And he's going to make his way. And when he gets to the door, he's going to knock on it 3 times, pause, and then 3 times again.
All right. As you knock on the door, you don't hear an answer. It appears that Carp is not there.
Is the door open?
It is.
I don't like that, Austin. Why is it open? I think he will slightly open it again, especially because what he just experienced. He will open the door and go, "Good day? Hello?"
As you look in, it's empty. You're not really able to see much. There's like a couple of half-used spell books that seem to be like strewn about. There are a couple of like these small wooden, they almost look like thumb holders that appear to be used to like hold books open with one hand. But like the bed is neatly made. You can smell the slight tinge of non-burnt food. If you can make me a investigation check, if you would like, I'll give you more information as well.
I think, yeah, he is pretty paranoid at this moment. So 16 total.
All right. So 16. You know that your mom was going to be heading to Carp's today to help him with a couple of things. When you got to Carp's, he was already gone. You're assuming that he's most likely like with your mom somewhere in the forest. but you don't entirely know what they're doing there. But from what you can tell, the smell of food, the fact that like the books are still out, and as like you look outside, you can also see that there are like a number of footprints, which appear to be yours, your mother's, and probably Carp's. You assume that your mother got to his shack, picked him up, and then they went off on their own.
Okay. He will take another deep breath, close the door, and too close to the fucking water, he's gonna run back into town and join the festivities.
All right. As you look out on the water, though, can you make me one last wisdom saving throw?
Okay. I got scared because it almost rolled 19.
You're doing okay.
Breathing exercises for the win.
The walk that you have turns into a very slight jog as you make your way to the festival. Liv, you are not in Hava. You are actually right now running from your life in the underwater city of the Optimus Order.
Great.
There is a piece of stale bread in your hand. 3 guards are chasing you through the streets of this small town. The glass dome above the abbey creates dancing lights filtered through the waves above that leave almost no shadow for you to escape into. The few people that are in the streets who see this unfold start to cheer as you come by, not for your escape, but for your execution. There are several places that you can go in this moment. One of them appears to be a small shop. One is an alleyway, and one is into a crowd that seems to be forming in front of you. Where do you go? Actually, first, can you describe yourself, and then tell me where do you go?
Sure. Liv, a human paladin with light blue hair and yellow eyes, is a scrappy little thing wearing clearly like recycled pieces of metal welded together, very patchwork sort of heavy armor. And she has a shield on her back and a simple sword at her hip. However, most strikingly, she has on her forehead a glowing tattoo of 2 half circles split in 2, much like a broken shield. And it is the symbol of an oath breaker. And I think the alleyway seems to be the closest, the most safe option. So let's start there.
All right, excellent. As you book it into this alleyway, I would like you to make me a acrobatics or stealth check. Just so you know, you are wearing heavy armor, so if you do a stealth check, that is going to be a disadvantage.
Yeah, there's no way. 10.
10, okay. As you make your way into the alleyway, you have this strange sense. It is not necessarily a sense that there is something that is wrong, but that something is different. You have been chased before by these people, but there is almost a sense of greater bloodlust in the eyes and hearts of the people that are chasing you. As you make your way into this alleyway, you smell something on the wind, weirdly enough. It's halfway between like flowers and smoke, weirdly enough. And as you finally get to like the very back of the alleyway, you look back as you hear and like a series of thuds as what appears to be like a couple of crates got knocked over directly into the path of the alleyway itself. As you make it to the other end, you realize you have maybe 10 seconds before the crates are either destroyed or moved in a way where these paladins are going to be able to get to you. As you make it to the very end, you are now on a busy street. Can you make me a perception check, please?
Okay. 13.
13. There are a number of people, several of which recognize you and immediately turn their heads. But there's one that you don't seem to recognize. It appears to be someone of the Optimus Order that you would know, but they're not wearing armor. They're not wearing a shield or even like a dagger or anything similar. They're just wearing regular robes, as if to be as inconspicuous as possible. But you do clock them, and in that moment, they gesture for you to come closer into the alleyway across from the one that you're currently in.
Do I know this person? Like, I don't know this person. They're a stranger.
You do not recognize this person, and considering how small the Order's town is, that's fucking weird.
Okay. Check out the alleyway. Does it seem at least safer? Like, is this a trap?
I would say this is going to be an insight check more than anything, and I'm going to say because you're in such a hurry, it's going to be a disadvantage.
Okay. Damn, okay. I got a nat 20 and then a 5, so 9.
At the very least, you think that it is going to be safer than the one that you're currently in because the people that are going after you are not actively trying to get into this alleyway.
Fuck it. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go there. Wherever that new person is.
Okay. As you make it to the other side, suddenly you hear as a divine smite breaks down what remains of the boxes, leaving nothing but scattered pieces of wood and a couple of like burnt fruits that you don't seem to recognize.
What a waste of food.
As you make it to the other side, the person turns their head, not even looking at you, and says, "We don't have much time."
You better be leading me somewhere safe.
I'm doing more than that. Here.
I'm pulling out the sword and like aiming it at them. And out with the shield as well, just being like, I'm warning you.
Can you make me a strength saving throw, please?
8.
All right. They rolled a 9, funnily enough, as they get in between like the shield and the sword and push the shield back ever so slightly, not even trying to harm you, but as you get pushed back just like a few feet, your sword is in their hand.
Oh, fine. Let's go.
As you look at her and she looks behind you, she says, "We don't have time." She gestures to a scroll in her hand and your sword in the other. "Do you want to fight? Or do you want to live?"
I'm gonna grab that scroll out of her hand.
In the moment that you do, the wax seal that's on it breaks, activating the scroll of teleport.
Do I know what scrolls are? Hang on.
You absolutely would know what scrolls are. It's a more commonplace item, but you don't know what spell is in it, but it activates the moment that you touch it.
Can I get my sword back at the same time?
Yeah,
or
sure.
Is it too late? Okay.
We can. Okay.
Yeah.
As the spell seems to overtake you, you are covered in what appears to be like a very light blue, like flame almost, like a not even like a flame, like a light. As this person looks at you and says, "Everything we know is wrong. What you've been going through is terrible. I wish I knew earlier. Happy birthday." As suddenly every single thing that you see in this like incredibly bright white flash gets overtaken. On like the back of your neck, you can feel like just a microsecond of someone reaching out to grab you, until in that moment you are shunted away magically and you wake up on a beach.
I've never seen a beach before.
You've never seen the sky before.
I've never seen the sky before.
Yeah.
I'm gonna... Where? Can I look around, see if there are people, there are buildings?
There appears to be like a couple of like small shacks on the ocean, like on the shore. There appears to be like a town off in the distance. You can hear like celebratory music. It sounds like a lot of people that seem like very, very happy. But like directly in front of you, there appears to be, weirdly enough, a stage. As if you are currently backstage of some sort of production that is going to be going on.
On the beach. Interesting, an outdoor one. I at least know the concept of like what open sky is and what a beach is. Like, this is land.
You definitely would. You have enough context to be like, oh, this is existence outside of the order. But other than that, you are literally and figuratively a fish out of water.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm gonna book it to the shack.
As you make it in, no one's home. It appears to have a number of spell books that are strewn about. The smell of like nicely made food that was made like several hours ago hits your nostrils. It seems quiet. For you, it seems safe.
I did it. I got out. And then first things first, figure out where this is. Do they have any, just like a random map of the town they're from? Like one of those decorative things, like when people put Michigan, like the shape of Michigan on their wall,
Yeah, because my family has that, but not Michigan. It's insert state I live in. Yeah, you look, and it actually appears like there is a program for something. It says that it is the Plain Crab Festival in Scenic Hava Collective.
A festival? Never been to a festival.
It is scrawled with like a couple of small things on it, one of which appears to be like a map of the town and where like certain attractions are going to be. One that you see is a very large star, which appears to be like at like where the stage is, as if this is something that this person would want to really go to.
Well, I don't think I care about whatever sort of celebrations that they're going to be having, because people gathering together is dangerous. There are too many people to have bad things happen to you, and you can't do anything about it. So, I'm gonna try to move away from the big red marked area. Somewhere quieter, somewhere safer.
Okay. It looks as if there is something going on. Like, one of the only places that the festivities is not reaching in this town appears to be a scrapyard at the edge of it.
All right, we head to the scrapyard.
As you make it to the scrapyard, you are surrounded by pieces of, like, scrap, like, metal and, like, broken down carts, magic items that appear to have possibly even just, like, gone up in flames, discarded, like, magical gems, things of that nature, non-magical objects as well. But the first thing that you notice is a very large machine-looking robot in a cowboy hat sitting on a wrought iron rocking chair.
Okay, I hide from that thing. I don't know what it is. It might be dangerous.
All right. Yeah, make a stealth check. Again, disadvantage.
Uh-oh. 13.
That's a natural 17. And Serve has a +5 to perception.
Always. Yeah. Always just by a little bit.
Yeah. He looks at you and he goes,
"Hail and well met, stranger.
It's talking!
As are you.
Backs away.
Are you okay? You need any help?
Are you a person?
Last I checked.
I am... There are nothing but humans in the city that Liv is from. This is a very strange occurrence, that this machinery person is a person. So, I'm just gonna, put my hand a little bit on the hilt of the sword, maybe, put a hand behind my back, just posture a little more defensively, and go, where is this? What is this place?
You're at the edge of town. You're in Hava. My name is Serve. You seem to be a little out of sorts. How about I get you some food and water? We can figure some things out.
Why? No one does that for free. What are you asking for?
Well, I'm asking you to be okay. And if people to you don't treat you kindly, I'm fine if you don't look at me as a person then.
Can I insight check that?
Absolutely.
9. Been getting a lot of sub 10s.
This person has a tone and behavior that you just straight up do not recognize. Like, you're kind of like, is this person messing with me, or is this something that is actually real? You don't have context for this kind of kindness from a stranger. So I don't think that you are distrusting of it, but I don't think you are trusting of it. I think the question, the like adjective to describe what you're feeling right now is curiosity.
I imagine that at this moment, Liv's stomach rumbles, and then she'll just go, "Okay, if you're willing to part with some food."
Oh, sure. That's no issue whatsoever. Give me one moment.
And he gets up, and you hear the loudest creaking from every joint in this gigantic robot's body as he then immediately like makes it into this small shack that is directly behind him, and he brings out what is essentially like I think like potato chips basically, and like a bit of water, and he just hands it to you. And like, by the way, his hand, by the way, is like the size of your shield.
Okay, taking a battle with this person would not be a smart idea. Oh, I still have that stale piece of bread that I stole. I'm gonna put that somewhere on my clothing to like squirrel it away for later, you know?
Yeah, totally. Add it to your inventory.
And so he hands me this, right?
Yep.
And I go, what is this? This is your food?
Well, I can't open it. My hands are too big. But you just sort of go and then just like pull it apart. And then the food's inside.
This is like a chip bag?
Yeah, it's a bag of
So
chips.
it's like and I eat the outside? I eat the...
You don't eat the... Where did you say that you're from again, Missy?
Nowhere.
Well, welcome to somewhere.
And okay, I'm gonna try to do what he says. I'm gonna he mimics some sort of pulling motion, so I'm just gonna try and pull it.
I'm gonna say make an intelligence check.
I'm not very good at that. 7.
Yeah. He sees you struggling with it, and he just like takes 2 of his fingers and just like pinches the bag a little bit, and like it pops a little bit, and like the chips are crushed a teensy bit, but they're relatively fine and edible.
I'm gonna, carefully take a bite in case it's poisoned. Or maybe this land has just stuff that I can't eat. So, and it's fine, I assume? He did not, in fact, poison this chip bag?
Nope, you take it. It is salty. It is a little bit greasy. It is savory, and you just immediately, like, feel like, oh, I can't just eat one. Like, these are really fucking good, especially with how hungry you are.
I'm gonna grab them by the handful and start stuffing them down. And just being like, this is the best thing I've ever eaten.
We got more. If you're still hungry.
Yes, yes, please.
Absolutely. Yeah, that should.
As whatever, like, there was like a very slight twitch to his neck that you noticed, like, as you sort of walked up, as you see like a strange light just suddenly like start glowing. It's like bright purple from like underneath like whatever chassis is holding like his torso together, and suddenly that same light just suddenly appears like in his eyes.
That is a laser beam coming. I pull out the the shield.
Yeah.
Should.
As suddenly he stops talking, and the creaking immediately like disappears, and with like a level of like dexterity and grace that he did not have previously, he just immediately starts bounding for the center of town.
Maybe that's just the culture here. I'm gonna look for more of those chips. He said I could have more, so I'm gonna seek them out.
Okay. All right, absolutely. You get you basically find just like a cardboard box of like chips that are for like snack breaks and stuff. Vox, I'm so sorry, but she found your stash.
My last bag.
The tech chips.
Detect chips.
Yeah. But your savior, the first person to ever show you kindness, books it off to the center of town with a extreme sense of urgency.
It must be the polite thing to do when you have a guest.
All right, cool. You're in the scrapyard just eating a bag of chips. There's only one person left that we have to introduce, and I suppose that is going to be Pastiche. Now, to everyone else, I've just been saying that they have been waking up, but you have been awake for hours rehearsing your lines. Yeah, you're an understudy for the Plain Crab Festival, but even if you don't have the opportunity to perform, you still gotta be on it. You still gotta be sure that this is what you're going to be doing, what you're going to be saying. And even if like you don't, you have the opportunity to explore the sights and sounds of the material plane before you head home. However, suddenly you hear the sound of someone throwing up. So first, Pastiche, I would like you to describe yourself, and then tell me who this person is that is throwing up, and why the sound of them vomiting is filling you with such joy.
Okay. Well, Pastiche is a changeling from the Feywild. Their changeling form is a transparent skin, alabaster in hue, transparent enough that you can see their skeletal system throughout and musculature. They have white hair that is peppered with multiple different pastel colors throughout, basically just like splotches, like somebody just took some chalk and tossed it into their hair. They have completely black eyes, very, very long, almost elven ears, but come to a point probably about a good 9 inches away from their head. They have a pretty androgynous form with a hourglass and right now you just see them with their sharp teeth smiling from joy of hearing Jory just absolutely vomiting. And Jory has been the favorite for larger roles for a while. And even though it sucks that he is throwing up, it does mean it's Pastiche's time to shine.
Oh, no. Jory, are you in there?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm gonna be perfectly fine. Just and
Are you sure?
no problem. What's? Don't tell Joss. Ah!
I definitely will not tell Josta. But I just do need to know, is it coming out of one end or both ends? And is it going to be something that we need to worry about cleaning up later?
Two. And
2.
I will clean it up.
Oh, so that's what that smell. I thought it was just vomit, but no, there's more. Okay, well, I will go and grab you some towels and a mop, and I really do hope that you'll be better in just... how many more hours do we have before the
30
performance?
minutes.
Oh, 30 minutes. Oh. Jory, you know it's okay to not be strong. When your stomach is weak, it doesn't mean that you yourself are weak.
Can you make me a persuasion check? I'm going to be making an insight check at disadvantage because this man is very clearly... I think this counts as the poisoned condition.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's a 7. Thank God. I thought that was another one. So 14 altogether.
Okay. He rolled a nat 20
Cool.
and an 8.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's better.
He hears you from the other side of like his dressing caravan and just says, I am doing the strong thing by deferring to you for the evening. Be a good king, Pastiche. You'll be. I gotta go. And you would just immediately hear like a door slam and then a bunch of other gross noises.
You see that Pastiche tucks up some ipecac down into their pocket.
Yeah, you be good now. You be good. I'll make sure that everybody knows that you are completely fine and will be better later, but just not for this performance.
And I rush over to Josta.
Okay. That is fantastic. All right, you make it over to Josta. Can you describe Josta to me?
Josta Noom is an elderly looking gnome. She has been running this troop for quite a long time. She's not fully gray, but her light blonde hair kind of just blends in with the gray and the white that is shown up. She has like a perpetual scowl, but it doesn't necessarily mean that she is in a bad mood. She just always seems that way, but she has like a heart of gold. She usually stands at about like 3.5 feet, but that's if she would stand straight. She's arched over quite a bit, probably taken off a good 6 inches from her height, so she's at like 3. What you would know is that this is mainly an act, though. Josta is a lot fitter than she plays.
All right, cool. As you go over to Josta, who seems to be directing like a number of like elves and like Eldridge, a couple of like fairies, minotaurs. This is like a very eclectic bunch of like the theater troupe that you're a part of. She's mainly currently talking to what appears to be like a teenage fairy and a like older Eldridge woman that you've worked with quite a bit. This is going to be Clemson and Svetlana.
Clemson and Svetlana.
They are going to be part of this production as well. At the moment that you come over, Josta just has a look on her face as if she already knows what happened.
Oh, Josta. Oh, Jory's not doing well. He's vomiting and out of both ends at the moment.
I did not know that you could vomit out your ass. That's interesting. So
I didn't either, but it's very liquid.
I did not need to know that, darling. It looks like you're already made up in your costume. Is there? So I'm assuming that you're going on.
Yes, I'm very, very ready. But I do need to know, do you want me to look like Jory, or is there a different way that you want the king to look? I was thinking giving him like a scar down his face, like right down the middle, so it looked like he was probably burnt on one side, but maybe not. like, somebody splashed some oil on him. Gross.
You know, I'm curious. Can you show me?
Immediately, they make themselves look like Harvey Dent, like Two-Face kind of style. Just very, very like deformed on one side, but completely beautiful on the other. Like long black hair and stunning blue eyes with one cloud. The where it was burnt is clouded on one side.
You know, I like that. If you could just make the scarification a bit more angular, fractals. You know, that works perfectly.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes. How about this?
That works. That's fine. Yeah, it should be fine. 20 minutes, 20 years, we'll be ready when we are.
Oh, sounds fantastic. I will be waiting overjoyed to finally be on the stage and showing my talents. The voice. I know that Jory was using kind of like a strong one. Do you want me to use a strong one as well, or do you want me to? What type of voice? Josta, I just want to make you happy.
Pass, sweetie. Half the people in this crowd are going to be drunk 3 sheets to the wind. They're not really going to be focusing on the voice so much as they're going to be focusing on the pretty colors and lights. So, whatever voice you like.
They are pretty.
Yeah.
All right, I'll think of one right on the spot.
Yeah.
We'll see what comes out.
All right. She walks away. And just before like you leave as well, Svetlana goes, "Thank you for liking the lights." And she just walks away as well.
I mean, lights are always they're eye-catching.
All right, you know exactly where it is you're supposed to stand. Is there anywhere that you would like to go to before before the show starts, basically?
So there's only 20 minutes before the performance.
Yeah, but you also 20 minutes or 20 years is like a very common saying for your troupe, as sort of like you
it can
might
happen whenever.
Yeah, and also sort of like you could see us next in 20 minutes, or you could see us next in 20 years, and it won't make a difference because you're going to see the same goddamn amazing performance.
Mm-hmm. I think at this point, a little bit of the nerves are starting to hit. So Pastiche immediately leaves and tries to find a place to get a drink.
You're able to find that pretty quickly. The smell of mead kind of hits you like the moment that you leave the stage area. It would be like a 2-minute walk, but you're very quickly able to find a place. It's called The Familiar, which is like a bar and tavern that appears to be like in charge of getting people as drunk as possible for this festival.
Oh, nice. So yeah, they just head right in. They're back in their regular true form, trying to keep the king's look a surprise.
This individual who's like in charge of the bar appears to be like a much older dwarven man. Looks at you, has half a second of like a double take of just like, "Oh, I haven't seen Changeling in a while. Interesting." And then immediately is like, "Welcome to The Familiar. How can I help you?"
Alcohol is what I would like at the moment.
That I can do.
Fantastic. Strongest thing that you have, and probably most unique. That would be great as well.
All right, I'm gonna roll a luck check to see how unique it's going to be. All right, that's pretty good. Okay, cool. As you are in this bar, can you make me a perception check?
Absolutely. 10.
You do this basically before every show. You go into the place that you're seeing, try to see new sights, new sounds, in this case, new tastes, and you just kind of get a sense of every place that you have gone to is a river that you have never stepped in twice. This is a place that's going to exist even without you there, but it's going to continue to change. So it's always going to be this, it is never going to be this again. That just hits you, and it gives you this sense of I think, very slight excitement, but at the same time a level of peace, as if like your heart is racing but you're getting more relaxed.
Yeah, being in an unknown and being in a place that is definitely, for the moment, what it is going to be. And who knows, if we do come back to this place, it could be next week, it could be 3 years from now, it could be 30 years from now. Who knows? But yeah, it's nice. I guess while they wait, they just start people watching and just taking the sights of everything around them.
I think as you're looking around, you don't seem to notice that an individual sits down next to you. They have their hood up, you can't really see their face, but they appear to have like a number of tattoos on like dark and muscled arms, with a couple of scars also reaching down. He holds up his finger as if to look 2, indicating that whatever it is that you're getting, he wants one as well.
Oh. Hello. You seem mysterious. What's your name?
I don't think it matters, does it?
If it doesn't matter to you, it doesn't matter to me. I'll tell you that much.
That's funny.
I wasn't trying to be at this point.
How natural of you, then. As this person comes over, and they say, so for the festival, we have Evermead, every mead, any mead, and non-alcoholic mead. So I tried to figure out the most unique thing I could get you. Instead, I just mixed them all together and created this. And he just hands you like this like amber liquid that appears to have almost like this like semi-oil on water thing with like different shades of amber inside that are swirling around each other in like this almost like tornado-like fashion. And he hands another one to the person that's next to you as well.
The absolutely every not mead. That sounds fantastic. I will definitely try it.
Yeah, so you drink it?
How big is the mug?
It's like a stein.
Okay. Do you want to race? New friend?
Sure.
All right. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And before even 3 is out of their mouth, they're already starting to go.
Okay, make a Constitution saving throw.
Ooh, 18.
So first off, you're not poisoned. You're not like drunk from this. But you're getting like 15 different flavor profiles in one, which you assume is not the Evermead, but the Every Mead. You are kind of also getting like this like slight like watered down sensation, which you assume to be the Any Mead. And then another one, which just appears to be like, oh, this is just honey in water, which appears to be the non-alcoholic mead. And you also get like a very slight buzz that just sort of continues and will continue for the rest of like the day, probably, which you assume to be the Evermead. It's interesting. It's incredibly bizarre. I can say with pretty matter-of-fact certainty, this is something that you have never had before.
Wow. Oh, that was a lot and not enough at the same time. I love this. Did I win? Or did you win? I think we both won.
As you look off to the side, nothing remains except for half of whatever this concoction is.
Oh. Well, that's odd. Goodbye, new friend. Don't let this go to waste. And grabs the stein and finishes it off.
All right, make another Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
The DC's gonna be higher.
Nice. 19.
That's still good. You're fine. You're gonna the king is gonna have a very nice buzz going on.
That's right.
In your head, you hear 5 minutes.
Who is that? Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm gone. Thank you very much.
Mead was fantastic.
Be sure to come back.
Will do. Absolutely left without paying.
Yeah, I assumed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the festival's in full swing. We got about 5 minutes until the show starts. Vox, where are you right now?
Oh, let's see. Probably on the outskirts of where the show is about to begin. I probably thought about buying a mead, but I could probably save that for something for later. So I think I'm holding on to anything that comes by that I think I might spend money on. I'd probably, I don't need it. It's not important. So I'm probably just on the outskirts, kind of looking around, just keeping an eye out for things, just seeing what's around, enjoying the sound and the sights and the music.
All right, that's nice. Can you make me a perception check?
Yeah, I can. 11.
11 seems like it's going to be a pretty good day. Food smells nice. Music is nice. The show seems to be starting pretty soon. But overall, it seems like a pretty nice, relaxing day. Luce, where are you?
Luce is speed walking into town.
Mm-hmm. The mom walk, yeah.
The mom walk, I think he's probably at the entrance still. And now just calmly trying to like get through people without running anybody over.
Can you make me acrobatics to make sure that like you don't get stuck in the crowd, you know?
Yeah. 7.
You get stuck in like a group of I think like 10 to 15 people that you don't seem to recognize. In an effort to not be as awkward as possible, just sort of like start moving with them where they are going until they eventually lead to like the center of the fairgrounds, like near the shore, but you don't really notice that until the crowd parts, and suddenly like you're at the stage.
Okay.
Liv, where are you?
Well, I had finished all of their chip stash, and you know, that the guy, I never even got his name. I should probably just chase after him. Maybe that's what he was expecting me to do. So I'm gonna go to, I assume he was going to the festival, right? Besides, festivals are in, let's check it out.
You get to the center of town. Can you make me a perception check to see if you can see your very large metal friend?
I don't know if we would call him a friend. 22.
Acquaintance. Okay. You look around for like your acquaintance, and you're able to notice them like relatively quickly. They are still like booking it for what appears to be like the exact center of town, but you're not entirely sure why.
Okay, yelling out, "Hey you," would draw a lot of attention to myself, so no, I'm just gonna try and follow.
All right, cool. So you go after this large metal acquaintance. Pastiche, I think you're exactly where you need to be. You're in the spot that you need to be before the show. Josta's about to go on. They're in like full makeup and almost like a near like jester's gear. As suddenly like someone puts on like a very slight spell and suddenly like a shade just sort of like appears over like the crowd itself, where like all the light is just sort of like center stage and everyone is there. You're able to sort of like see everything as if you were in a theater indoors. Josta then steps out and says, "A play in 3 acts, not 2, not 4, 3. For 2 acts would be too short to speak of the immensity of the story we tell upon this stage, and no one has ever heard of a 4-act play." Suddenly she like sort of like vogues and is like, "We begin!" As she then like literally like floats up to the top of the stage, like off into the corner, Statler and Waldorf style, and starts narrating what's happening on stage. The curtains open and it's like this like massive, what appears to be like a battlefield, almost like a dystopian landscape of like a war that has gone on, as Josta begins to narrate. Long ago, when the world was new, it was embroiled in a constant lust and battle for power. The gods, no longer walking among us, left only their children, the lesser deities and their followers, to squabble for the scrap of what we call reality. And suddenly, a young teenage boy with fairy wings comes out, and he is holding like a rod of some kind and like a spell book. And he's wearing like very, very fake, cheap looking wizard robes, like purple with stars on it and stuff like that, and like the pointy wizard hat. And he goes, "With the world bending to my very will, I will create it in my own image." Suddenly, like an older Eladrin woman appears on stage. She appears to have like a flower petals for hair, holding what appears to be like a holy symbol that, Luce, I think you recognize is not a holy symbol of anything. It's just sort of like a mishmash, an amalgam of like a number of different things. And she goes, "Nay, with the gods on my side, the world is mine to conquer." And then Josta goes, "But then the great secret beyond this world was discovered." And a bright green light shines off into the crowd from backstage. Luce, I think that you hear this, but just like a number of people go like, "Whoa!" As if like the pretty lights are definitely working on like the drunk populace of Hava. The birthplace of all magic, the home of the gods themselves, a font of power so great that all is possible just by tapping in. And only one man was capable of doing so. Now, Pastiche, before you go on stage, I would like you to make a performance check. And then I would like you to act as you would based off of what you rolled.
Okay. Luckily, that's one of my high ones. 17.
17. Okay, excellent. In your 17ist performance, can you repeat the lines?
Yeah. So Pastis steps out and has decided to completely change what they were going to make the Fractal King look like. And now their face just looks like a broken mirror. That is still a humanoid, but the fractals are all over. The hair looks like tinsel, basically, and they're in an opulent robe that basically the hair looks like it kind of goes into this really, really gaudy looking crown above their head, as well as a fractured staff that is huge as well. With a flourish and a spin, they step out and slam down the staff, and "For I am Orior, the Fractal King. With this great power, I shall stop the endless onslaught of war and bring peace back to the world."
So as you wave your staff, suddenly every person on stage rips off their clothes, revealing green ones underneath that seem to like match the opulent robe that you're wearing, just sort of like less so, to show that they are followers of you. Together, the two people that were originally battling bow down to you and say, "We surrender to the might of the Fractal King. We praise you for calming the seas and bringing riches from beyond." As suddenly, like, that green light, which was originally just like this like large circle, suddenly spreads around the entire backdrop of the stage itself, almost as if like the power is now overflowing and going from like one spot to the entirety of the world. And Josta continues, "With the might of our great ruler, the Fractal King brought peace to our land, and together we rise as a collective." And suddenly this symbol appears on the backdrop, which is almost like an arc, like a sunrise, but on the left-hand side there is like a singular circle, and at the point where the arc and the circle meet, there is just a line going off to like the center of what would be the continuation of this circle. You all would know this as the symbol of the Oriri Collective. the nation that all of you reside in. Jostic then goes on to say, "And what, Fractal King, shall you do with the gifts you've been given from beyond?"
I will bring about a new era of peace by...
And suddenly there is this massive crash that you hear from the center of town. The sound of like metal bending and buckling underneath something. A couple people like shouting and screaming as this piece of a fruit stand appears to be thrown directly onto the stage. Pastiche, can you make me a dexterity saving throw, please?
With a the by cuts off in a and dexterity, you said?
Uh-huh.
A 10. Oh no.
Okay. All right. If it helps, Svetlana rolled a nat 1.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So you're gonna take 6 points of bludgeoning damage as just like a number of like candied apples bombard you in this like strange blunderbuss and stick to your clothing, as Svetlana then deals with the brunt of what appears to be like a very large wooden crate that just knocks her down on her ass. Yeah. Josta then goes, "Hold, we're in a hold," as the lights go up.
I'm quite hurt. Right now, I only have 3 hit points left, y'all. So
Oh, no.
that
Damn.
hurt. Yeah.
Level
Level
one.
1. Level 1.
Level 1. Yeah. Josta looks at you, throws you a health potion, and says,
Is this pulp free?
30% less.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you take that. You take that's 4. So I think that's 8 points of health back.
Okay, well that puts me back up at full then.
Okay.
So that's good.
Yeah. Josta looks at you and says, "I need you to go check out what's going on. I'm gonna handle this. I'm gonna calm everyone down. I need you to do this."
Should I use the staff, or should I go grab my usual like swordplay sword?
Use what you want. Just go.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. I will. It's fine.
As like you like head to the center of town, I think, can you make me a perception or investigation check?
Investigation will be better, I believe. I guess they're both the same. I'll say that this is investigation though. 14.
Yeah, you're able to find like what appears to be like a pretty like hefty stick on the ground. If you would like, it's very similar to like the like practice swords that like you have in the back as well.
Oh, wow. You usually don't find sticks this fantastic.
I'll put it in my little holster.
Vox, you were near all this when like it occurred. You look off to the side and you see Serve moving, I would say, with more strength and precision than you have ever seen him move before, with a strange purple glow coming off of his eyes.
First thing I want to do is make an Arcana check to see if I recognize what's happening, and then I'm booking it towards Serve and yelling, Serve! And just like running towards.
Absolutely. Yeah, make that Arcana check.
18.
18. Something that you know about Serve is that they are a metal mishmash of like different parts that have been made over the years. This friend and mentor has probably been fully Ship of Theseus over the course of several decades, to the point where it could be effectively any part of him that is causing him to behave erratically. And that's what you get at first. But with an 18, something that you also know is that one of the things that he is supposed to do is that he is supposed to follow a very specific protocol that he frankly just hasn't followed for a very long time. So it is possible that what's happening right now is that some other source, some other protocol is taking precedent over the one that he hasn't been following in the first place.
How far away is he?
Let's say like 50 feet.
50 feet. All right. I can get... Wait, was the Arcana check an action?
No.
All right, then I will take dash action to get myself 60 feet of movement to get up on him And if he is swinging his fists, I'm just going to try to jump on to try to get on and start trying to climb up his arm.
Like full Shadow of the Colossus?
Yeah, and I want to preface, I have a -1 to strength, so this is going to go poorly, but I need to get up to where I can look at his wiring.
So it sounds like you're not trying to disable anything in this moment. You're trying to get to a place where you have a good vantage point of what's going on.
Yes.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to say this is not going to be like an athletics check. If you'd like, it can be an acrobatics check.
I will take all the help I can get. That's a 6.
Yeah, you get onto his like you find like a crook in his elbow that you know is there. And like you put your foot into it and suddenly he moves in a way that you did not know was necessarily possible, as like his hand on like the same arm that you're holding suddenly grabs you and just sort of like tosses you off to the side nonchalantly. You don't take any damage, but you're now 10 feet away from this person. Yeah. Luce, there is quite a bit of cacophony going on behind you. There appears to be someone that is like within the town center. Can you make me a perception check?
Okay, perception. Shit. That's a nat 1.
That's a nat 1.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Okay, with a nat 1, I'm going to tell you what you miss. Over the sounds and screams of everything that is going on around you, you miss the sound of what appears to be your mother's voice telling Carp to wake up. So that's what you miss. In other words, not knowing that, Lucerin, what do you do?
Who's hurt in front of him? Like, who's like passed out?
There is somebody on stage that was hit with a very, very large, like, wooden crate that is currently on stage and not moving.
He is going to take some more deep breaths and go, I am here. I am fine. I am here. I am fine. And he's going to sprint forward and cast Spare the Dying on the person.
You see, like, a labored breath that she was undergoing suddenly start to, like, very slowly, like, calm and even back out for half a moment. She seems to be doing relatively okay. There is still, like, a very large, like, head wound, but that also appears to be closing up ever so slightly to the point where, like, she at the very least has stopped bleeding and is no longer in any immediate danger.
He's gonna, like, he's not a strong dude, so he's just going to, like, give her the good cleric tap on the face and just kind of slide her over to the right and turn and just look at the chaos. And I'm not gonna ask for a roll. I would just like for him to just start having a panic attack.
Okay.
As he's just, oh no, because he has no idea what to do. He doesn't see anybody that he knows. He saved one person, but if everybody gets hurt, he can't heal everybody here. He's not an amazing cleric. He just does what he can, and so on and so forth.
All right. Right now, you are incapacitated. You have a disadvantage on all saving throws, as well as a -2 to all those saving throws. As you look off at the cacophony of everything that is going on around you, suddenly you don't hear the sounds of crashing. You don't hear the screams or anything else. You fall to the floor, knowing that at least one person is safe. And you just close your eyes for half a moment. What does Luce think of in this moment?
He sees blood, water, himself crying when he was a kid, and how somehow it's his fault that he couldn't help. And at least he did one thing, but that is all he feel like he can do. And he's just breathing hard and probably at this point now tears are in his face and he's freaking out really badly.
Luce, in this moment, you don't know where it comes from, but it feels as if a cup of cold water is splashed upon you as you feel a bony hand on your shoulder. And you hear in your mind,
all that you're doing is delaying the inevitable. But the delay is what matters. Go, delay.
That's fucking scary. Lucy's going to shoot up, like just kind of like look up and like turn and look around.
there is no one other than the person that you saved and a young boy with fairy wings who is kind of just abandoning their castmate on stage and going to the back.
Great camaraderie, guys. Thanks.
Can Luce do one more look around?
Absolutely. I'm going to say you can do a perception check. And I'm going to say, without giving too much away, you can do so with advantage, as if someone is giving you the help action.
Oh, sure.
Are you still in your panic state?
You are out of your panic state, at least for now.
Okay. That is a dirty 20.
Off in the distance, you can see your mother pushing back this very large robot, which you know to be Serve, with Carp, one of your like surrogate like uncles, basically, on the ground, appears to not be moving.
He is going to be sprinting that way. Like, and if he knocks anybody over, he's like, sorry, just kind of bulldozing through.
All right. One of the last people that you see heading to where you all are, towards the fear, not away from it, is Liv. What are you doing in this moment?
Do I still... Actually, I don't care about the robot guy anymore. It seems like everybody's panicking. Someone threw a fruit stand onto the stage. Let's go for some cover. Who knows? Maybe something worse will happen.
Yeah, you're able to find cover relatively quickly. It's behind another fruit stand, and you just kind of have this moment of like, wait, is he going to throw this one again? And then you seem to be doing okay. You can make a stealth check if you would like to see if like you are going to be a viable person to attack.
Okay. That's with disadvantage because I'm wearing armor, right?
Yep. I'll let you know the number you have to beat is a 15.
I guess it doesn't matter because it's 5.
Okay. The robot's head just sort of like swivels around you and just sort of like cocks the head ever so slightly the way it did previously. It has clocked that you were there, but you are still behind cover, so you will still have like certain benefits that you would have if you were under half cover. But with the 4 of you there, this robot suddenly lets out this massive like metal shriek from somewhere inside them, as if like the gears are moving wrong and like buckling underneath like their own like pressure of whatever it is that they're doing. It almost sounds like the pained cry of an animal. But the 4 of you are there. I think it's time we roll initiative. Stories Told Again is a podcast game mastered and produced by Austin Bakke and performed by Tiffany Veprinski as Liv, Took I Guess as Luce, Jeff Barry as Pastiche, and Rayne Eldridge as Vox. Editing by Rayne Eldridge and Jess the Cleaver. Scoring and mastering by Tiffany Veprinski. All art for the campaign is created by Beelzebub Harbinger. A link to their work can be found in the episode description. Website and social media by Chelsea Louis. If you like what we do, consider being a part of the story by joining our Discord or following us wherever we post. Links can be found in the episode description. Special thanks to Patrick Perini, Emily Graymore, Sarah Roberts, Emily Gaiman, Chip Suss, Lex Demetra, Kimchi Simmons, Kieran Wright, Kat Dwyer, Robert Reeve, and Camille Morose. Rest in peace. Thanks for listening, and welcome to the story.